Hello people of YouTube and welcome back. So yeah, this is take two now. I can't believe it. I needed to reorganize some files before I did this, but I completely forgot, and because of that it corrupted the file, even though I've just done like 40 odd minutes of recording. So here we go, part two. I'm going to try and remember what I said before, because usually when I do these kind of things, I should have just done it in the first take, because I always forget what I want to say, what I've said, or whatever like that. I'm just rambling now. I bet everyone's like, you should just cut your losses and just put everything on the shelf. But I'm into a habit now. You're probably all sick of seeing me actually, because I've done quite a lot of videos recently. Yeah, so what I'm going to say, right? I've got a lot of video games again. I kind of got into the old Black Friday FOMO. So yeah, this is all going to be mostly Switch and PS4 games. Yeah, there's quite a few Switch games. I'm quite surprised how many I got. Not a massive amount, but for me, there's a lot. But there's always a reason why. Let me move up this way a little bit, because I think I've moved along. Didn't need to be. I need to have a little section for a video there, don't I? So you can all see what I'm talking about, instead of my normal ramblings that probably make no sense to anyone. Have a quick sip of orange juice from my goblet, since I just spoke to death. I've just gone over here, and right, so first up, what did I get? So first thing isn't a video game, it's a thing to play video games with, and it is the 8-Bit Dough arcade stick. So this thing, oh my goodness, this has taken me quite a long time to get. I only got this a couple of days ago when I received it. However, this is the first thing I've been trying to source. This has been in like 2 months of trying to get this. The reason why is I didn't want to pay cash for it. I've got quite a few pickups coming up, so I didn't want to pay cash. So I had a big stock of consoles just in the loft, just taking up room. I've not got the space like I used to, so I just thought, let's get rid. CEX had given quite a lot of money for a lot of the consoles, so I took them in. However, not everything went in first time. Little issues, like I think one controller had like a small crack on it, so that they refused everything. So I got a new controller, and then they couldn't like take certain consoles in because they couldn't tune them in because they didn't have a SCART cable, and it's like, you know, it was like so much toing and throwing. So these have like about 3 in stock, grade Bs, when I first started my attempt, and then when I got my first lot of credit, sold out. I was like, fuck it out. So I waited a little bit, still didn't come on, so I bought something else, which I also wanted, but I was hoping to get everything in one go, but because of like the to and fro-in with CEX, I didn't get all the credit I wanted in one go. It was like multiple times. So yeah, I got the first thing, and then I got this, and then the first time it came, instead of having them beautiful red buttons that look like an NES, someone had modded it, and it was like black and yellow buttons, like black buttons with yellow outsides. It looked pretty cool, but it wasn't the aesthetic I wanted. I wanted this to match my keyboard, which is in front of me. So yeah, it had to look like that. It had to look the part. But yeah, I got that one and I took it back. I was like, I'm not really impressed with it. I mean, it was okay, but I took it back, and then a couple of days later this came up, and it was an A grade one, which cost a bit more. I think it was like 60 quid of trade credit, but boy, I'm glad I did, because look at that, the buttons have even got like the seals on them, and I noticed the stick itself is a lot better than it was. It's still not the best stick in the world, but it's good enough. I'm only going to be playing PC games casually with it. I think it's going to be quite nice on the desk. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. It's more of a visual thing. This is just going to be on my arcade stick stand over there. The box is going to go up in the loft. But yeah, like, I mean, look, everything is like wrapped up still. It's I'm impressed. I'm so glad I took it back and got what I really wanted, which was like a new one. I did want the new one to start with, but yeah, I mean, you can't be when you're playing a CX game, you can't expect everything to be brand new and perfect first time, or even just at all really. So that to me has blown me away. So even though I know it's an A grade one, still don't expect it to be as good as that. The box has taken a ding, but again, it's not going to be a display box. I don't think it's the most appealing box. I don't think it does the job, but it's that modern look. It's just boring to me. Right, next up, we've got a Blu-ray. Kicking off with a Blu-ray, and it is The Last of Us Season 1 on Blu-ray. So someone picked this up recently, and I just love. I'm a sucker for a slipcover. Do you know what I mean? So I had to get it. So yeah, it comes with a slipcover, and the black case really goes really well with this. I think it looks great. I put it this way, so it's back to front. I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to be, but like if you put it facing here, you don't get to see the spine. It looks a bit shit. So for me, I'm doing it like this. Is that right? Is that what anyone else does? But yeah, anyway, first 4K HD, Ultra HD Blu-ray that I've ever had. And I've got to say, I'm not really that impressed. For me, the money is just the aesthetic. For me, I just like the black. But yeah, it looked good. Don't get me wrong, because I've got HDR 4K micro LCD TV, so it's not quite a what's it called? What's that one that everyone creams over? But it's like supposed to be good in light as well. Mine better for light than what that organic OLED. That's it. Yeah, I don't know. Technology, eh? But yeah, it was good, but I didn't think it was any better than like a streaming service. So for me, I'll probably, unless it's a 4K HD Blu-ray is not much more, then I'll probably go for that. If it's like a couple of quid more, I'll probably go for this. But a lot of the time, they're like 10 quid more, and I don't think that the value's there. But anyway, what do I think of this? It's basically a one-to-one telling of the first game, and then it's got a few deviations where tells a bit of backstory in some of the other characters that you meet along the way. So it's quite good. I wasn't sure what to expect with it, because I didn't want spoilers, so I always looked away when people started talking about it. So if you don't want spoilers, I suppose that's what you want to do. I always try and stay away from spoilers, mainly because I can't remember them myself, to be honest. I watch these things and then instantly things drop out my head until someone mentions it, and it's like, oh yeah, I can remember that. Yeah. Okay, madness when you get old, isn't it? But yeah, this is a great series. Definitely worth watching. I think if you're not into the games, you might be into this. If you like zombies, it's not a zombie film. It's about mushrooms. Anyway, that's the first one. Video game related, isn't it? So, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So yeah, this is unsealed, and it's not in there because I played it. No manual, because Nintendo just can't afford to make stuff like that anymore. They're the leading cutting edge of console technology, so of course they can't afford to put things that we all want in a game. This is what makes me laugh as well, because realistically, this costs less than a video game usually, standard price. Yeah, like Blu-rays seem to always have, like, go above and beyond with like their presentation. There's multiple discs in here. It's a better format than this. It's got a lovely metallic slipcover. Why can't games like match the same as like films? And films, I don't think they've got quite the same budgets of video games these days. So it just baffles me. But anyway. And that's a bit of a rant in itself, isn't it? But anyway, this game, yeah, it was good. I don't tend to buy games at launch, but on Black Friday, this was reduced down to 34 quid, which is a lot of money for me to buy a video game. I'm not going to lie, for a modern video game, that is. But with these games, they don't drop down in value that much until the next console comes out. Nintendo games, that is. So I thought I'll just jump on it while the hype's high. And yeah, I just finished this last night and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. The problem is it's not a AAA experience. And with these 2D platformers, there's not much I don't know, Mario games. What can they do? This has thrown a lot of things at it, a lot of a lot of new ideas. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder. The reason why it's Wonder is you collect these Wonder seeds, and then it changes the levels. Like, so you can turn into a ball, or that sounds a bit boring actually, doesn't it? Turn into a Goomba, and sometimes the levels completely change, where like the water will sort of like flip on itself. So the water is the air, and the air that was before was the water, so it does like different things. But yeah, like it's really cool. It's a good game, and the best thing about these games is trying to explore the levels and trying to get everything from them. I'm probably, when I beat this, I'll probably beat this to about 70-80%. I don't think there's a percentage score, I don't think, but yeah, I did quite a lot of the special stages, probably half of them. So the special stages, you have to find like little secret exits, and then you go to sort of like an overworld, just like in Super Mario World. You used to have, like, was it Star Road, is it? I can't remember what it's called, where you have like these special, a bit harder stages. These have got it. There's one that just reminded me of like Super Meat Boy, where you had to like jump off walls that were like coming and going. It was like, it's really good. It was like really hard, and I lost a couple of lives on that, because it's quite an easy. This is quite an easy game, I've got to say. The difficulty is just trying to find and figure out where everything is. But yeah, it's a good 8-9 hour game. It's not gonna blow your socks off or anything like that. It's just a good sort of like bit of entertainment while a fully fledged decent Mario comes out. So yeah, definitely recommend it. If you're not a crazy collector like me, just buy it, play it, sell it, and you probably won't lose any money. If not, you might even make money. Next up, we've got Air Twister. So this one is on the PS4. There is only one way to get this on the PS4, and it was strictly limited. And this has got a general release, so quite easy to get on the PS5, quite easy to get on the Switch, but not as easy to get on the PS4. So as a crazy PS4 collector, I had to get it, and yeah, strictly limited. As soon as this got released, got it within a week. Why can't they do this more often? They would get a lot of love back if they started releasing games like this, because they've lost a lot of confidence with the sellers, and with the buyers. The customers are just not as impressed anymore. So yeah, it's a good package. I think you get more. You get like a little bit of a manual and everything like this. The game itself, I beat the game. Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed it for what it is, but it's very much a mobile phone game, which it was originally for. I think it was for like Apple TV. So it's got really good visuals. It's weird. It's such a weird concept, because the visuals are like quite aesthetically pleasing, but they just don't have that modern edge to it. Everything is very, I mean, the game's called Air Twister, and it is a very static sort of like game. So everyone probably knows this plays like a Space Harrier cross between Panzer Dragoon style game. And yeah, it's kind of cool, but the execution just isn't there. It's just very boring and very basic. And most of the times that you die in this is because you can't figure out where the bullets are going to go, because the bullets twist towards you. That's probably where the twisted bit comes from. Instead of it being like visually impressive, where like you're twisting upside down and going through tunnels. There is tunnels, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, this could have been something very special. The music is insane. It's like a cross between Kate Bush and like Queen. But yeah, like it's cool. But like, yeah, the backgrounds, nothing happens. Like, the backgrounds are just there. There should be like little things that happen, like creatures running along, or do you know what I mean? Like Panzer Dragoon did this years ago on the Saturn. So why couldn't it be in 2023? Why can't they do that with a game? But anyway, good game. I enjoyed it for what it was, but yeah, it's just a missed opportunity. Again, same with this one. So this game, PS5, not a PS4 release, unfortunately. This I remember seeing ages ago when Cuphead first got released. About a year later, this was announced, and it was like just like a little studio. Everyone was like, "Look at the next Cuphead rip-off," and everyone was like sort of like bashing it, but like secretly looking forward to its release. Same with me. I was like, I couldn't wait for this to be released because I love the visuals for Cuphead. So I was like, of course, I love hard platformers. So this was definitely up there for me. And then I just completely forgot about it. And someone picked it up recently, and I was like, checked it on Amazon. It was in the Black Friday sale. I think it was like 15 quid, 14 quid. So I grabbed it. And yeah, it was like a sort of almost day one play because, again, I love Cuphead so much. And Jesus Christ, this game is, again, I can't, at the moment, I can't recommend it because it's so broken. It's hard platforming, and it's only because like it makes it hard because first thing that pissed me off, you went to go move the character and nothing happened. You pressed the D-pad, nothing was doing it except changing spells. I was like, didn't like that. Use the analog stick, and that's, whoa, lo and behold, you move that way. And I've always said 2D platforms that use analog stick should be made illegal. you need to have a digital controller to move left and right rather than analog. So that was the first strike. But I thought, no, it's a good looking game. It's got the pizzazz of sort of like Cuphead. Not as well done, obviously. It's not as well done. It's a smaller team and everything like that. But like, it looks good. But yeah, to change your spells, you have to be stationary. So you can't do it while you're jumping. And then that just makes it's just like such a clunky, broken game because of that. I managed to get to the last boss of this, but I couldn't get any further because it was just so hard to get through, like to use everything as you should, and it is a bit of a shame. However, they've updated a lot of things on the Steam version. You can now like change spells just like that, and by all means, I've heard it is become a lot better game. You can then also use your controller. You can use the D-pad on it now. They've updated that to change how you change your spells, and you can use your D-pad. It's just that the patch has not come through to the PS5 yet, but I kind of enjoyed the game that much in a sadistic kind of way that once the patch comes through to the console versions, I will probably play through this again. It's not a really long game. It's not as long as Cuphead. It's quite straightforward. But yeah, I would really like to play this again as it should be played. So yeah, it's good that the developers are making the changes, but it's just a shame that it's so late done, because I think this came out in September. It was very under the covers sort of a release. I didn't know anything about it. To say how much hype it got, just nothing on release. Maybe it's because the developers knew not to, because it wasn't quite ready. But anyway, so first lot of my credit that I got, other than the arcade stick, I got Kalisto Project. We're starting off small. So yeah, this is how long ago it is. I think you can get this game now brand new for a tenner. But yeah, a game I'm looking forward to. A lot of people are on the fence with it. They either love it or hate it. I think the haters are because a lot of people saw this as the next Dead Space, and I think it plays a little bit different. So everyone's just sort of like going into it as this is Dead Space. But yeah, maybe sort of like reining my expectations. But yeah, another cool space horror game. So I'm looking forward to playing this. I really am. So again, with credit on that one. So that was a nice purchase. That was in store, so I didn't have to pay for the extra postage. Whereas this one I did. And we've got aye. So this is a shooter. It's from Red Art Games, which is why I was quite surprised this was in CEX. I was just looking through to see what I could get with my change, because there was no arcade sticks anymore. So I got this, it's one that I kind of passed on before. It sold out quite quickly for Red Art, so that's why I never got it. I just thought I was expecting to get it down the line when I saw something else. But yeah, it sold out quite quickly, and so I thought I'll just never get this again. This tends to go for about between 40 and 50 quid on eBay, so for 33 quid, because I had to pay postage as well with credit. Why not? Let's get it. I've got this digitally, and again, it's not the best shooter, but it's not terrible. It's not really terrible. It's just I can't remember anything about it, and that kind of a game is sort of a bit, yeah, it's probably about 5 or 6 out of 10 shooter. Quite mediocre. Next up, we have got one of the things I wanted to get with my credit. There was 3 things I wanted: the arcade stick, this, and a Blu-ray set that I want to get, maybe 2, which I've still got consoles to take, because I need to get some SCART cables. I'll just take it to a different CEX, and then I've got enough for 2 more Blu-ray sets. But yeah, that'll be in the future. But for now, we've picked up Godzilla. We've got King of Monsters on PS4. So this game has sort of like haunted me for the longest time. God, what's going on? This doesn't want to, there we go, focus in very well. So yeah, I remember this when it came out. I was like really excited to get it, but then I heard so many people like shit on it. So many people were saying bad things about this, and then it was like price was dropping and dropping. I think it went to about 30 quid at CEX at one point, and I was like, right, I'm gonna get it when it's 20 quid. I think it went to 25, then it just started going up again, and then it started going up and up and up and up, and I was like, I didn't understand why. Whenever I went on eBay, there was always handfuls of these for sale, and then it sort of stagnated around 100 quid, where you'd see about 4 sell a week for 100 quid. So it's not rare. I just don't understand why this game sells for so much. But it seems to be that staple PS4. You're not a PS4 collector unless you've got Godzilla in your collection. But no, I just want this because it's Godzilla. I really enjoy the franchise. Like I say, it's something I've wanted for the longest time. And yeah, I've played it, and it's exactly what I was expecting. Just a bit of a city destroy 'em up, and then all of a sudden like a kaiju will come along and you've got to destroy that as well. When I started playing it, it said that how the more you destroy, the bigger you become. So I thought, it's going to be like a Katamari kind of game, but with kaiju and stuff. But no, it really, you don't notice yourself growing any bigger. It's like between stages, it tells you how big you've got. I think I'm missing something. I think I'm not quite doing something that he wants me to do, because I've got through the game, but I never got I never got a credit roll, so I don't know if there is one or not. Basically, when you go through the game, you sort of like have like the Darius style select your next level sort of thing, where to go through. And I went through the top stages because the first level, it took me quite a few times to beat the first monster. I can't remember who it was this time for the first monster, but I couldn't beat him. It took me about 4 attempts to beat him, and I only did it with the skin of my teeth. But then after that, every other monster was so easy, I just pissed through it. So I need to go through this again. I tried some of the other modes where you can, the monsters that you beat, you can then become them and go through the same levels again. It's like, it is a very repetitive game, but if as a Godzilla fan, I think it's definitely a must play. I just want closure. I want to know how to beat this game. So how do you beat it, guys? If anyone's played it. Next up, we've got a semi-trade from Dylan Hyper Trigger X. So he came over the other day and he brought over Monster Sanctuary for me. I did have another game for him, but he decided he didn't want it. So this is on a back burner future trade. So I didn't really know much about this game, but it's a Metroid Vania cross between Pokemon. Like, so quite interesting. But I showed this to a couple of other people, and a few people said this is quite a good game. So I'm looking forward to playing this, but I've not actually really seen much about it. So yeah. Cheers, Dylan. I don't know what to get you yet. Still don't know what to get you. Next up, a game recommended by Ross. We all did the responded to Callum Retro Ghetto's fucking memory is terrible, isn't it? Modern retro games, and Ross brought this up again, and it is Songbird Symphony, a game that everyone seemed to have got. Like when it first got released, it just dropped down to like $5 or something, like stupidly cheap. So everyone just bought it, put it on the shelves, and really didn't talk about it after that. But Ross played through it and highly recommended it. So it was like, oh, I never got it that time. So let's go on eBay and have a look. And this was a starting bid of £1. So I put a couple of quid in, forgot about it, and I won it for £1.20 plus postage. I think it was like no more than £4 for a sealed copy of Songbird Symphony with a rattly disc. But I mean, we can sort that out. But yeah, like what's going on? I didn't fix it. Yeah, Ross said this is basically a Metroid Vania cross between a rhythm game. I was like, well, you've sold me there. It's two genres I really love, so let's go for it. So yeah, thanks for adding to my madness. Next up, another game that no one seems to talk about. It's a franchise that's very like esteemed. Everyone loves or hates. It's sort of like a love-hate sort of like relationship, Double Dragon, isn't it? But still, for how high caliber a series this is, this release seems to have gone under the radar. I think I've seen a couple of people pick it up, but again, not really say much about it. I think the reason why is even though it's like a reboot, it's sort of like, I don't think it really suits Double Dragon. It's a style that everyone's seen before. Sort of like, I'm trying to think, what's the game? Couple of games that are like this. 99 Vidas is one. I can't remember another game, but yeah, it doesn't carve its own sort of like style or identity, I don't think. Whether or not it's a good game or bad game, I'm not too sure. To be honest, all of these 2D side-scrolling brawlers, they're all good, and like, it was Black Friday, this got reduced to, I think, maybe 20 quid, maybe even 15. It was reduced anyway, usually it's 25, 30 quid. So I picked it up, and for that kind of price, I don't mind it. I'll enjoy it. I know I'll enjoy it. Next up, we have got a game that I got from Shop 2, and it's a Red Art game. This is a shmup. Have we had any shmups yet? Yeah, this is a second shmup. Not many shmups on this one, is there, guys? But it's not a video of mine if there's no shmups on it, is there? So yeah, so this is very much a Euro shooter. A lot of people, it's a bit of a love-hate sort of style. Usually sort of like signified by this sort of like shiny graphics, a little bit pre-rendered sort of look. Sort of like bullet sponge enemies and stuff like that, but this one actually looks quite good. This one looks like it's going to be something a bit more special. The first game, Jetson Guns 1, is very turd. Everyone, it's like if you're into your shooters, you sort of like know that the first one is a turd. So I think this one's got a bad name because of the first one. I think this is a lot better than the first one, but I could be wrong. I mean, you get PS5 upgrades, so of course it's going to be good. But yeah, looking forward to playing this. Like I say, it does look quite flashy, looks quite nice, but there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Next up, we've got God of Rock. Someone else picked this up I say fairly recently. I think it was like summertime, and it's always been stuck in the back of my mind. And then Black Friday, this was reduced down to like a tenner. So God of Rock. So again, another music rhythm action game crossed with another style of genre, and it's music rhythm 1 versus 1 fighter. So yeah, you've got like the characters in the background fighting. I think you can input special moves somehow, but it's basically don't miss your rhythm inputs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this. It'd be quite cool to have this like a music rhythm game versus with someone else. It'd be quite interesting to see how well we all do. I'd hate to play this against Ross. He'd be like the champion, but it'd be good. It'll be a good match to see Ross play this with Beth Bear. That'll be quite a good one because they're quite good at music rhythm games. But yeah, interesting mashup, that is for sure. So yeah, for a tenner you can't go wrong. Next up we have got PlayAsia Black Friday sale. So I'm going to take a sip here because I've been doing this for an hour and a half now, and then I've got to edit it, so I'm not looking forward to that. So anyway, PlayAsia, what did I get? So for 120 quid all this came to, which probably for 4 games people are probably like thinking, I thought this was supposed to be a sale, but honestly these games were no less than 50 quid on eBay generally, so I had to get them, the ones that I wanted. First up we've got Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. So I used to have this on the Wii U. That was the only way you could play it back then, and now it's got a release on the Switch on PS4. So even though this is from Asia, it's all in English and stuff, so it's very playable. So this is Project Zero. Also, if you don't know the difference, I'm sure everyone does nowadays, but everyone knows everything. The internet has made the world a lot smaller place. But yeah, I played through this. I didn't beat it. I got to a boss where it just kind of frustrated me because you had to use the controller to move the camera. I'm really interested to see how they implement the camera system on this. To be honest, I've not really played many of the Project Zero games. I really should. I was supposed to play one this year for Halloween, and I didn't. I missed my opportunity. But I think I'm going to have to play another one of them soon. So yeah, really looking forward to playing this again. Hopefully, I don't know if they've made this any better looking. It wasn't a dog or anything before. What I was a bit gutted about, the sale had, there's another Fatal Frame one that came out before this, only in Japan on the Wii, and there's a PS4 and Switch release on that one, but only the Switch had it in the sale. So I did have that in my basket, but I thought, no, I can't do it to myself. I need to get the PS4 version. Why would I have a cross-platform game on the Switch? That's stupid. That's just insanity. Anyway, next up we've got Battle Garega. This just made this whole pickup worth it. This is, if you was to get like the limited run one of this, it's like 100. It's going to set you back about 80 to 100 quid. This is the Korean version, which probably about 50 to 60 on eBay again. But yeah, this is a game I do actually own a physical special edition of for the PS4, but it doesn't come with a disc, annoyingly. So as a stupid collector, I have to get a disc version so I can just pop it in and out of my console as and when please. But yeah, another great shooter, one that I used to have on the Saturn, but I sold it on to Mr. Hyper Trigger X. Yeah, it's brutally hard, but very addictive. Yeah, it's one of these games that like it's got like a system where the better that you do, the harder the game gets. So it's sort of like it's recommended that you don't like get every power up and every collectible, because it makes it too hard, like extremely hard, even for like seasoned professionals. And then what people usually do to get through the game is they do a bit of a suicide to lower the ranking system. I don't understand that, because I just get killed and it's still bloody hard after that. So but it's again a very addictive game, such a great game. And if you just want to use all your continues, you can just go through the whole game in one go. Just use about 100 continues. It's quite good. It's not one that sort of like gets to the end of the last boss if you use a continue and then you have to go back to the level, and it can get quite hard. Some games you can't complete unless you're like super good. This is just, it'll just respawn you and you can just beat the game. Next up we have got Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. So this is 1, 2 and 3. I've never played any of these before. I'm just told a little white lie there. So before I got this, I actually played it on Game Pass recently, because this is on Game Pass, and I played the third one, Ninja Gaiden 3, and because I wanted to experience the series really, and I got to a boss and it just kicked my ass. It just kept flipping. I just couldn't get past him, every time I was just so close to beating him, and it just never quite did. The stages weren't as hard as I was expecting, but I mean, I didn't get massively far. But yeah, I'm thinking, I saw this in the sale and I was like, do you know what? I can get this and I can go through the games at my leisure instead of having to worry about Game Pass. 10 quid a game, can't go wrong. And hopefully, now I'm using a PlayStation controller, I might actually be able to beat that boss, because obviously it's a better controller. You can play the game a lot easier. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And the last game I got from PlayAsia, we have got a Switch game, Crosscode. So yeah, this lovely box, funny enough, is what like brought the average of these games down really. So this was like 15 quid, and the rest were like probably about 40 or something like that. Well, it'll be less, but postage as well, I suppose. So yeah, 15 quid for a nice little special box. Yeah, what this game is, it's a nice versus fighter with sexy girls on it, I guess. Anime girls. Yeah, this one's a numbered release. I don't know how many there is, but this is number 2344, one of the Play exclusives. I've not. I think it's Crosscode. I can't remember if there was a PlayStation 2 version of this or maybe 360 version. Can't remember. But either way, only in Japan. So it's not a series that I've ever really dabbled in. But yeah, for 15 quid, I'll get it. I wasn't going to get this game. Quite a few people have picked it up, but because I've just got a new dock for one of my arcades for the Switch. Yeah, I can play this on the arcade now. So it made my interest a little bit more. I believe this as well has a I think off disc, I think it's like a download code. You can get a 1 versus 1 fighter version with all the characters in it. I don't think it's a very good one, but like as a bonus, it's quite cool, quite interesting. Yeah, so I'll see if I've made that up or not. I might have made that up. Who knows? Next up, from trying to think who it is. Funstock. That's it. Funstock Black Friday sales. They've basically just turned into an Evercade seller now. After the Black Friday sales, their website is just turned into just Evercade this, Evercade that. No video games anymore. So they always did some really interesting games. So one of the games I wanted for some time, and it is Sea Rats. So Curse of the Sea Rats. This is a game that, again, I saw from like when it got announced, and I got really excited because I just like the tagline. What's it called? A something hand animated Ratoid Vania adventure. So, I mean, sold. This is supposed to be a special edition or something. I don't think it was like a special edition, but there was something. They named it something that sounded like it was going to be more than it was. It comes with stickers. That was the special, how special it is. So I'll need to open this up to put this inside it so I don't lose it. Don't want to put that in the tack drawer really, but nice to have. It really is. But yeah, like I don't really tend to get these games at launch. I always like wait for them to drop down in value. But yeah, I'm a bit not sure about this game because Pete Fighter 2 played this last year, I think it was, and he didn't rate it very highly. He said it wasn't. He sort of like had to push himself through it to beat it. So I do appreciate a lot of the things that Pete says in video games. So for him to say that, it kind of like made me take a step back. There's so many other games out there. I didn't need to rush out to get this. So yeah, when it was reduced, I think it was like about 10-12 quid. I was like, yeah, it's the time is now. But yeah, the thing that I wanted to get from there was a Switch game. It's upside down again. It's Galgun, the Horny Trinity Edition. So yeah, this is one of them boxes that should not be opened. Yeah, so the Galgun games, it's just sort of like what's it called? Yeah, sort of good fun, but you were embarrassed to admit it. That saying, that's what this is. It really is. It's kind of good fun. I played 2 of the games that are on PS4 and Vita, but the third game that's in this only came out on the Switch. I can't remember what it's called now. but yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I feel like it's like a remake of the first game. But yeah, I'm not too sure, but I'll play it eventually. They all played exactly the same as each other anyway. But yeah, it's sort of like a time crisis sort of style game. In some ways, sort of like a corridor shooter where you got to shoot girls and shoot them and wet them, and yeah, you know what I'm getting with things. I'm sure you can understand. But yeah, this special edition has 2 plushes. You usually have like angels or devils, and depends on the way your play style and who you want to go for. It depends on how the game unfolds. So yeah, it has them in here, and it also has a tentacle kit because Japan. Because of course it does. Of course it does. I mean, the tentacle kit, all it really amounts to is just a pair of tights. But yeah, it's just funny to have like a game like that in the collection, and yeah, looking forward to put it on the shelves, and maybe I should put it, definitely a top shelf game, that one, isn't it? Next up, we have got a Pix and Love pickup. So quite funny about this one. I started looking in there. There was only a couple of games I really wanted, so I wasn't too fussed about it. So I let Dylan know, and we did a shared order, because the postage is quite high if you only want a couple of games, because it's from France. So we did that. We split the costs and everything like that. Dylan then let Callum know from Retro Ghetto, and before mine was even sent out, Callum was showing his on his bloody YouTube channel, which I saw 2 days after he posted it. I'm like, what's going on here? Have I upset Pix and Love here or something? But yeah, it's not just Callum. It was like everyone was who I speak to who got the Pix and Love sale stuff, all had theirs like about a week before mine even was posted. I was like, upset them somehow. But alas, here it is. It's not like I've had time to go and play these games anyway, so it makes no odds really. I've learned to be more patient with these companies anyway. So the first game is Soldiers. So I kind of like did a hard pass with this. This was on the previous sale, and I never picked it up then when I picked up a load of stuff. But like Dylan highly recommended it, because he did a bit of a deep dive of Metroid Vania style games, and this was like highly rated. So yeah, the cover doesn't really sell it, but yeah, supposedly it's a good game, and what I've seen, yeah, it's really nice pixel art Metroid Vania. So yeah, looking forward to playing that eventually. And then next up, one that I did see, what I did want to get on my order, which was, this is the reason why I wanted this and the next thing. I thought it wasn't really worth it until Dylan helped along with Baldo. So again, the quite an inspiring cover, but like this is sort of like The Legend of Zelda, the Super Nintendo one, Legend of Time. I can't remember, my brain's crap. One of my favourite styles of Legends of Zelda. So this is sort of like a more modern-y style looking one. I've heard a lot of mixed things. I think the bad things are probably like before a pre-patch. I think it's been patched this, so I think it makes it run a little bit better. But yeah, it does look really nice. I just don't hear many people talking about it, and I think it's probably because the cover doesn't really sell it. So yeah, looking forward to eventually playing that. But yeah, the last thing, the one that I really wanted, is a Switch game. It's a game that I've been wanting. It doesn't seem to drop in value. It's not expensive or anything, like 20-25 quid. But in the sale, this was the same price, if not less, than the standard edition if I was to get it in the UK. So I got myself the Neo Geo Color Selection Volume 1. So the Neo Geo Pocket Color is a system I've never owned, always been interested in. I mean, it's Neo Geo, isn't it? So of course it's going to be cool, but I just didn't like the idea of no backlit screen. I always remember the Neo Geos being for sale in the local game when I used to live in Leeds. They used to like have a little cardboard stand with all the games on it, and I just loved the clamshells. They're just so cool. But yeah, never picked one up. I mean, I wasn't really a gamer then, but I still appreciated games, if that makes sense. So I opened this up on I did a live unboxing on the last video, but yeah, let's see what's inside, shall we? So we get the game. This game is just a standard edition copy. We've got this bit of random cardboard, get pocket power, and then we've got all these art cards, which is really cool. That is something that you don't normally get to see. You usually get little postcards. I mean, they are really pointless, but I suppose you could put these in little frames, because they're a fairly good size. But what's really cool, this is so cool. If you're a Neo Geo Pocket collector, you need to get this, to put this on your shelf, because it is just a one-to-one actual Neo Geo case. So cool. Smells nice. Nothing inside. It's completely pointless, but it's such a nice little addition. And then you get what's inside. So there is a volume 2 coming out. It's been announced about a year ago, so I don't know how long. I don't know if it's coming or if it's in limbo or what, but I'd like to get the second one. The second one speaks out to me more because there's a lot more. These are a lot more like sort of like ports of Neo Geo games. So you've got like sort of Metal Slug and all the fighting games and stuff like that on here. So pretty cool to play. I think the Metal Slug game is an original, but the second one has got like sort of like more exclusive games that are just on the Neo Geo Pocket. So there's what's it called? Something, I don't know, robot thing. Is it Wild Arms? Is it? Not Wild Arms. Something Arms. Dark Arms, is it? I think that's on there. Yeah, it's a lot more sort of like catered to more the underground, sort of like games that are completely new experiences. So yeah, looking forward to playing them. But anyway, that is, I think I've held you here long enough now. It's nearly 50 minutes. So yeah, it's been a bit of a beastie video pickups, hasn't it? So I've still got loads more to show, more retro for the next one, because I do like to sort of keep them separate a little bit. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great Christmas, because it's that time of year again, isn't it? And I'll probably see you in the next one. Peace, bye.